Hello, welcome to the 2024-25 school year version of Welcome to PSCSTA. PSCSTA stands for Puget Sound Computer Science Teachers Association, and we are a chapter of the National CSTA. I'm Lawrence Tanimoto, the treasurer of this organization. And another thing, in this video, we'll talk a little bit more about ourselves and how you can best interact with us throughout the 2024-25 school year. One important thing to note is that if ever you have any questions about our chapter, you should always be sure to email us at this particular email address, csta.pugetsound@gmail.com. Anyway, I will now start to explain about our chapter. With CSTA, we're in this together. The Computer Science Teachers Association, CSTA, understands that teaching computer science is hard. That's why CSTA focuses on creating a strong environment to support K-12 educators. You might be the only computer science teacher in your school, district, or town. And as part of CSTA, we're in that together. So this just explains a little bit about who CSTA is. And this pretty much comes directly from the homepage of csteachers.org. Another important thing to note about CSTA is that we're a for teachers, by teachers, and more organization. And this comes from just about CSTA chapter here. And really all this says is, right, CSTA is a voice for teachers, driven by teachers. CSTA is member focused, right? CSTA is committed to equity in our community and for the students our members served. And CSTA is a place where people grow. One thing to note is that CSTA considers itself to be the world's largest computer science department, right? And we're here to try and help you grow as computer science teachers. Or even if you just teach a little computer science and you do that, we want to help you grow as a teacher and help you be able to better integrate computer science concepts into your other teaching. So that was a little bit about the National CSTA, and we'll come back to that from time to time. Now what I'd like to talk about is a little bit about our chapter. It's the Puget Sound Computer Science Teachers Association, PSCSTA. We're also known as CSTA Puget Sound, Washington chapter. This is a little bit about us. Our chapter was founded in 2009. The National CSTA was founded in 2004. So we were one of the earliest chapters developed. Currently, we have over 175 active members, and we are one of 4 CSTA chapters in Washington State. See here, Puget Sound, Spokane, Mid-Columbia, and Central Washington. And we are the most active chapter around, and we cover all of Washington, Western Washington geographically. And really, we try and create virtual events and other events to sort of support teachers throughout Washington. So even if you are a member of some of these other chapters and you live and work in one of these areas, Spokane, Mid-Columbia, or Central Washington, we encourage you to also join our chapter so you can get all of the support from our group as well, because we do have, more members and more resources than some of the smaller chapters do. So one thing to remember about CSTA and our chapter and any local chapters is that it's totally free. To join CSTA, you can see a link here. And to join PSCSTA, you have a link here. And I'll just show you how to do this. So for CSTA, if you go to membership, join CSTA, you would click in here, and you can join CSTA like here. And that's all fairly easy. And then after you join the national CSTA, you can then join our local chapter. And to do that, you have to go to this particular page here, and you log into chapter here, and then you can join our chapter. So it's actually a two-step process, which we explain on this link down here, HTTPS join CSTA Puget Sound, where you first join CSTA National, then you join our local chapter. And the third thing you can do is, that's optional, is join what is known as CSTA Plus, which is a addition, which is a sort of a $50 a year membership fee, and you get additional access to several different resources nationally that you get, and free and discounted access to several resources. So that's another thing to consider. Okay, and so the key thing to remember is that, you know, join the basic joining, and most of the services you get that we'll describe here are all totally free. Plus, you can join CSTA Plus for $50, and we'll explain some of these, what some of these $50 gets you a little later. But please remember that basic membership is free, and that a lot goes into it. Yep. Our chapter officers, and this just lists our chapter officers as of August 2024. Our president is Dr. Lauren Bricker, Vice President Adrian Gifford. I'm your treasurer, Lawrence Tanimoto, and I'm also what is known as the chapter advocacy. Our secretary is Jacqueline Russo, somebody known as an equity fellow, which as you join CSTA, you'll learn a lot more about, is Jennifer Steyer. And we have several at-large members who are part of our board, Michelle, Elizabeth, Tracy, and Josh. And we have also a student, a college teaching candidate, who's our social media liaison, and this is Megan. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about optimizing your CSTA main membership. One thing that you should try and do, and if you didn't do it this way, that's fine, but this will just sort of give you an overview of how to optimize both your CSTA membership and your PSCSTA membership. One thing is that when you sign up, is to try and use a personal email account, because those are less likely to get filtered for various things. You also might want to try and remove certain emails from, or certain email addresses from going to your junk mail, and these are listed here, because you do get a lot of information from CSTA. Right. A third thing you can do is basically updating your profile on the csteachers.org, on the CSTA website, so we can see who you are and where you're from. So that's it. Other things you can do is that you can go onto our virtual community, which we'll talk to you a little bit about later, and make a posting there. You can view this orientation video, which you are now, and thank you very much. Participate in events, and we'll talk a lot about the events that we have. And eventually you can become a chapter leader and help to plan several of these events and our yearly cadence. And we'll talk all about this more later. Okay? Some of the benefits of being a member of our local chapter following, and we'll talk about all of these. One is our virtual community, our website, our monthly newsletter, called The Connector. We have several live in-person events, several virtual events. We do provide Washington State clock hours for several different courses that we provide through the year. And we provide both moral and professional support. are virtual communities. Okay, so CSTA Puget Sound provides was known provides its own has its own virtual community on what is on the CSTA. It's part of the CSTA website, and I'll show you what it is. Right, we'll show you what that is right now. To get to the community, what you would need to do is to first go to, oops, let's see, go to CSTA. Oh, let me go here, pscsta.org, right? And this redirects to our homepage, pugetsound.csteachers.org. And then to get to the virtual community, you go to connect and discussion group, like here. Yeah. You would eventually, you may have to sign in here, and then eventually this will take you to our community site. And you can see here some of the things that are going on here. You know, we have things about grant applications, focus groups, and several other discussions going on. And I'll say that we are one of the most active local chapter discussion groups that are on CSTA. You see all the different things that we've discussed over the past year or so. Okay. In addition to the virtual communities, and some of this, and one thing you can do is that you can receive daily or weekly summaries of these communities. So anybody posts it, maybe you get a daily email that sort of describes what's going on in this particular community. Okay. Another thing that we have is that we do have several different social media accounts. We have social media accounts for Facebook, Instagram, and X, and please follow those. There is another virtual community for something known as a community that we have with other CSTA members in Washington called WAXTA that you might be interested in joining. And there's also something known as CS for All Washington, which is probably has a little more interaction with higher ed teachers or like community college and university teachers. That also talks about CS education in Washington. So if you're interested in interacting with those two, you please join this particular Slack chat. You are also, as a CSTA member, there are also several different virtual communities that you may want to be interested in. There's the big public community, which has over 20,000 members, probably even more now. There are virtual communities that are separated out by grade band for the various AP courses, whether it's APCS A or APCS principles. There are different affinity groups, for example, for Black teachers, Latinx teachers, AAPI, Indigenous, and Pride teachers. If you want to interact with teachers from those particular affinity groups, you can do it there. And there are more, I guess, groups that focus more on particular types of CS teaching. Some of these are CTE, physical computing, schools of education, coaching, cybersecurity, art and computation, AI and machine learning, video game design, the CSTA Honor Society, and right. So if you have any sort of interest or any particular interest in area of computer science and want to interact with teachers of a like mind throughout the nation, these communities are the place to go. Another important thing we do is a monthly newsletter called The Connector. And you can see here that we have all of the issues that we have are available here, pugetsound.cs.bulletins. And I'm going to bring one of these up here. Where do we have that? Okay, I'm bringing this up here. If I go here, connect our monthly newsletter, right? You can see all of this. So we do this once a month. And if you look at one of our issues, this is the August 2024 issues. You can see here we have various, we have a main article, a lead article. We have information about different opportunities here. Here, we also have something known as a teacher spotlight. Also have something about data corner. We also give you information about various different partners that we have. You can see our list of partners at the bottom here, and what they do within the company. But that goes out once a month. And the important thing, of course, is that we have the events, PD, and opportunities, all the things that they're out there for you to do. We try and cover them all. Yeah, another important thing, of course, is our website. We'll go back to here. And you can see here, you can either use just pscsta.org or our longer, more formal URL is pugetsound.csteachers.org, right? And this looks here. See what we have there. Of course, we have our main menu. You can see that all of our news articles here. Important thing to look at are the events that we have here. That we have upcoming events that you can sign up. For example, if you want to sign up for this info session here, you click on that and you register. Okay. You can also find here, these are bulletins and so on and so forth, our articles. So everything you want to do is there. Events calendar also gives you a list of the events that we have going on. And as we open up registration for them, these all come up. We have several live in-person events planned for this year. One of it is a physical computing workshop, which traditionally is in the spring and traditionally held at Microsoft, where we teach teachers about the basics of physical computing. We also have another thing called Lightning Talks and a STEP CS graduate reception. And STEP CS is basically the program at University of Washington. It's a master's program in CS Ed that we do a brief series of talks for. And we invite the graduates of this program and all of our members to join us to welcome them to the community of CS teachers. Other other live in-person events that we have things planned for CS Ed Week and for NCCE. And an important thing we do for live in-person events, because all of these other ones are somewhat serious, one of the things we do is that we do allow you to create your own meetups. And these are just general meetups that we have here. This is the article about this, that what it has, that it allows you to get a couple of your colleagues who are in the chapter together. And what we'll do is that we'll allow you to get together. You can have some snacks, some appetizers on us, and we will help foot the bill. You just have to kind of tell us beforehand, and we'll help you out. Please just get in touch. If you're interested in something like this, just contact CSTA Puget Sound at gmail.com. Tell us, hey, I want to do a meetup on gaming, or I want to do a meetup in Bellingham, or something like that. And we will work with you and try to help you out. And you get your people together and send us a receipt, and we'll work things out. So please, if you're interested in just helping together, and this sort of helps us to help you and create the community of CS educators that we want. We have many different virtual events. We know we have to do virtual events because even, Washington is fairly, it covers a fairly large geographic area. And even within the Puget Sound area, traffic's so bad that it's very difficult to get together physically sometimes. So we do have several virtual events. We have quarterly open membership meetings where we invite all our members to sort of see how things run in PSCSTA. And these happen in September, September, December, March, and June, right? That we have that. We also have meetups within national that, of course, are virtual as well. And some new things that we're doing for 24-25 are a congressional app challenge info session. So we're going to do an info session to try and promote the congressional app challenge within our state. And we're also going to have, there's a new course that exists for this year called Resources for New Teachers that will have additional session, a debrief and discussion about to get new teachers together just to discuss the course and what they've learned. Another thing we do is, and we talked, is Washington State clock hours. So this is something, many of the, both the virtual and in-person things that we do provide Washington State clock hours for. Some of the events that we do give that provide Washington State clock hours are the physical computing workshop that I talked about later. A big one that we do is Foundations of CS for Teachers. And this is a course that can get you up to 40 Washington State clock hours. And this helps you prepare, if you need to take the CS endorsement exam. Okay. A third thing we do is we provide Washington State clock hours for various CSTA online courses here. Okay. And you can see here, this is the main CSTA website. And these are the courses that CSTA just provides PD for, and they'll say it takes about this long, and we just provide Washington State clock hours for these. Right? You can see here is some of these offerings include Women in CS, add-ons to boot equity and inclusion, using data to improve diverse CS course participation, fostering a sense of belonging in your CS classroom, identity inclusion, teaching security, and a new one that I talked a little bit later called Empowering CS Resources for Teachers. So all of these we provide Washington State clock hours for. I will say though that for these, there is generally a cost to take the course. That's about $10 per hour. However, you can take these for free if you are a CSTA Plus member. And that's one of the great benefits of CS. Another thing we do, if you are interested, we do provide professional growth plans for active chapter leaders, or even if you're not a leader and you just want to help out a lot with PSCSTA this year, let us know and we can help create a professional growth plan for you and do it. You can get up to 25 clock hours. One thing to note is that even though there may be costs for some of these courses, we do provide free clock hours for our members. However, they must register the clock hours themselves with OSPI. And we'll give you instructions as to how to do that. Another thing we do, of course, is we provide moral and professional support. Another thing is that if you ever have any problems with or questions about CSTA, PSCSTA, or just being a teacher in Washington, please feel free to send us an email at this email address here. And then you can also meet up with us in various other places. So for example, we do have our quarterly open meetings. We have our meetups, our just meetups, just sort of more social meetups. You can always ask questions or find out stuff through the virtual community. There is something known as a chapter advocacy lead, which I am, and my job is to sort of help teachers advocate for more and better computer science education, right? And I'm happy to help you if ever you have questions about teaching CS in Washington. Another thing we do is that we are also investigating more multi-chapter, multi-state events. And we'll come up with more of that as we go forward. Another key thing we just want to, so that was mostly about PSCSTA, our local chapter, but we should also note some important things about the national CSTA and how they can support you, right? We have K-12 computer science standards. So CSTA does create the standards for K-12 CS education. They also provide standards for CS teachers. So what are the things that teachers should think about as they teach? And you can see that here, standards for CS teachers here. You can see here, and because they don't yet have, and because the right, you can see here demonstrate thorough CS knowledge and skills, etc. Right? Implement evidence-based practices, design learning experiences, continually develop knowledge, and advocate for equity. These are all the CS standards for teachers that CSTA has created, right? We provide several different teaching resources and professional development. National CSTA provides several events, including the conference, the live conference at the end of the year or in July, as well as many other virtual events. Has several different reports in the national communities and programs to do. And we should also note that 2 of our members are also members of the CSTA Board of Directors, and that's Lauren Bricker and Jacqueline Russell. They're part of the Board of Directors of National Board of Directors of CSTA, as well as being PSCSTA officers. I'll mention a little bit about CSTA Plus. And as I mentioned before, basic membership in CSTA and any or all of its chapters is free. However, you can very much help us out and help the CSTA cause out by becoming through your $50 annual membership fee. Some of the things do that is CSTA Plus becoming CSTA Plus member qualifies you to become a chapter leader, be a member of a national committee, run your own CS Honor Society. You can get free or discounted price for professional development events and other resources, and you can get swag just for being a CSTA Plus member. So please consider that. It's $50 a year. And that's it. That's our presentation here. Thank you very much. And please remember, if you have any other questions about CSTA or our chapter, the Puget Sound chapter, please feel free to mail us at csta.pugetsound@gmail.com, and we will be sure to help you out. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you either in person or online.